Jive doya kori Swaparshad sviya dhama Shavatari Atyanta dulabha prema Kori varedana Atyanta dulabha prema Kori varedana Shikaya Sharanagati Bhakatera prana Shikaya Sharanagati Bhakatera prana Dainyatmani Vedan Gopi Tripvavana Avasya Rakshibe Krishna Vishvasvapalana Avasya Rakshibe Krishna Vishvasvapalana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karera Svikara Bhakti Anukula Matra Karera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoi Bejahara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoi Bejahara Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumara Tahara Prarthana Sune Srinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pade Dante Trinadhori Bhakti Vinoda Pore Tuhu Padadhori Bhakti Vinoda Pore Tuhu Padadhori Rupa Sanatana Pade Dante Trinakori Bhakti Vinoda Pore Tuhu Padadhori Bhakti কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো আধাম কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো আধাম শিখায় শরণাগতি করো হে উত্তম শিখায় শরণাগতি করো হে উত্তম শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি স্বপার্ষদ স্বীয় ধাম সহ অবতারি কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো আধাম কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো আধাম শিখায় শরণাগতি করো হে উত্তম Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe. Jayo Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jayo Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Mai Jayo Sudarshana. Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai. Sama Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So Hare Krishna, everyone. We are very grateful to Sudhamabandhu Prabhu, and today we also have another special devotee, Aditya Vaishnav Prabhu. That's his uninitiated name. And Jagriti Mataji, welcome. And welcome all the devotees, Hare Krishna, and the devotees who joined online. Are you able to hear okay online? Yes? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So everyone, kindly repeat. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Gana.
Jaya Jaya Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Gana.
Shakti Deha Koreyena Chaitanya Varnana.
Shakti Deha Karayana Chaitanya Varnana.
Jaya Jaya Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Gana.
Jaya Jaya Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Gana.
Shakti Deha Koreyena Chaitanya Varnana.
Shakti Deha Karayana Chaitanya Varnana.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschateshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we've been discussing a very special section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4. It's entitled The Confidential Reasons for the Lord's Appearance. And in this chapter, so far, we've covered many significant insights into the heart of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And by revealing Krishna's heart, Kaviraj Goswami also explains that what is the position of Srimati Radharani, and how Krishna and Srimati Radharani are inseparable. They're so intimately connected, and that she is the Ladini Shakti, right? The pleasure-giving potency, the potency through which Krishna experiences pleasure. So even God, He has His own way of experiencing pleasure, and He doesn't access anything material. It's His own internal potency, and the Ladini Shakti, the spiritual pleasure-giving potency of His internal potency, through which He experiences pleasure. And we learnt that how great is Radharani's love for Krishna, and how supremely inconceivable her qualities are. We read some of the qualities. And then we heard something really amazing, that even after coming to this world and experiencing so many different exchanges with His intimate associates, including His friends, His parents, the Sakhis, still Krishna left with 3 unfulfilled desires. And last time we started discussing the 3rd unfulfilled desire. And we will now continue our discussion and complete the discussion on the 3rd unfulfilled desire, and then let's see how far we can go today. Okay. So the last thing we discussed in our last session was that even though the gopis, they're not concerned about their own happiness, they're not keen on, it's not their intent that, they will derive happiness in serving Krishna. But what happens is that when they serve Krishna without any motive, just to please him, what happens to Krishna? Krishna becomes happy. And then when the gopis see Krishna happy, what happens to them? So they become happier. And what else happens? When the gopis, they appreciate Krishna's sweetness, what happens to Krishna? His sweetness increases. So when Krishna's sweetness increases, then what happens to the gopis? So they experience even more sweetness of Krishna. And as they experience that, Krishna's sweetness increases further. And another thing that will increase, that we will see today, that in a few verses we will discuss that, Krishna's beauty also increases. Okay. So as the gopis appreciate Krishna's beauty, Krishna becomes more beautiful. And when he looks at the gopis, what happens? The gopis also become more beautiful. So this is also going on. So the pleasure, the sweetness, the beauty, it's increasing eternally. And none of them are accepting defeat. So the gopis are not accepting defeat, and Krishna is not accepting this defeat. So in 193 it's explained. Let's recite this verse. Ei mata paraspara pare huda hudi.
Ei mata paraspara pare huda hudi.
Paraspara bade keha mukha nahi muri.
Paraspara bade keha mukha nahi muri.
So in this way a competition takes place between them, in which no one acknowledges defeat. So Krishna, Kaviraj Goswami explains that he derives so much pleasure from the beauty and good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, their joy increases. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami says that we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Krishna. For that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. Because there is no motive for happiness in serving Krishna, but yet they experience the highest level of happiness. So therefore, there is not a tinge of selfish desire in the love of the gopis. Now, there is another symptom why there is no lust in the love of the gopis. So far, what are the things we've discussed that differentiate the gopis' love from ordinary lust? What are the attributes of gopis' love that we've discussed so far that make it very clear that there is no tinge of lust in their love for Krishna?
First point, you said they have renounced everything.
Yes, they have renounced everything, right, for Krishna, including their reputation eternally. They've renounced it for Krishna.
Second verse.
It is not for their pleasure, they just keep up Krishna's pleasure.
Yes. So they don't care about whether they will experience pain, whether they will experience pleasure. That it's not their concern. Their concern is to give pleasure to Krishna.
Second point you said they dress nicely to please Krishna.
So their bodies, they decorate, thinking what? So Krishna will be happy. That Krishna will derive happiness from seeing our well-decorated bodies. And what else?
Their love is not comprehend of intelligence.
Okay, but okay, that's another point why it's free from lust.
Their bodies made to serve the Lord.
Yes, we that's been mentioned.
And they get happy when they see happy faces.
Very nice.
Their happiness is because of the Lord being happy.
Yes. Now he discusses another amazing point, that what is it that really makes their love for Krishna completely free from lust. Okay. So now he'll explain in verses 200 to 201. Okay. Let us discuss. This is a very, very amazing point that comes up here. Please recite after me. Nirupadhi prema janha tanha ei riti.
Nirupadhi prema yana tana ei riti.
Priti vishaya sukhe ashrayara priti.
Priti vishaya sukhe ashraya priti.
Now the next verse. Nija premanande Krishna sevananda bade.
Nija premanande Krishna sevananda bade.
Se anandira prati bhaktira hoy mahakrodhe.
Se anandira prati bhaktira hoy mahakrodhe.
When there is unselfish love, that is its style. So what's the style of an unselfish love? That the reservoir of love derives pleasure when the lovable object is pleased. So how will the one who's loving, how will they derive pleasure? When? Yeah, those who they are trying to serve, they are pleased, and that will give them pleasure. But when that pleasure of love interferes with the service, then the devotee becomes angry towards such ecstasy. So we all want to experience bliss. Yes, the bliss of loving Krishna. But what if that bliss interferes with the service of the Lord? Then, if our love is genuine, then we will become angry. That why am I feeling this ecstasy? Because this is interfering with my service to Krishna. I just think, what level of thinking is this? So the example given here in text number 202 of Daruka, what's he doing? He is fanning Krishna. But as he is fanning Krishna, what starts to happen to him? He starts to feel ecstatic. I mean, he is fanning the Supreme Lord. I mean, such personal service. So what do his limbs and they start trembling. And when his limbs start trembling, can he fan Krishna properly? No. He might fall off in ecstasy. So then what happens? What happens to him? He doesn't relish these ecstatic feelings of love. He's not happy that he's experiencing such ecstasy. Why? Because this is interfering with his service. So what does this tell us about his mindset?
His purpose is only to serve.
Yes, so he is not concerned about his own pleasure. And especially he becomes upset when that pleasure is interfering with his ability to serve the Lord. Similarly, the example is given of Srimati Radharani. She condemns the flow of her tears because it hinders the sight of Krishna. So when she is looking at Krishna and if tears are coming out, then that obstructs her vision of Krishna's face. And she says, why? So there's a beautiful lecture by Srila Prabhupada on one of the verses in the first canto, 20th chapter. I've shared that with you, not 20th chapter, I'm forgetting which chapter. But it's in the chapter where Krishna is leaving Hastinapur and all the ladies have gathered. And I've shared this lecture on the group and it's called Truly Selfless Love. And Prabhupada speaks about many of the points that we have been discussing in this chapter so far. And in this, as Krishna is leaving, so the ladies, they're feeling intense separation. But they're concerned that if they shed tears, then this whole thing will become inauspicious. So they check their tears. And these are tears of intense love, intense separation from Krishna. But to avoid the situation becoming inauspicious, they check themselves. It would have been easier just to let their feelings just flow through. Right? And they would experience so much pleasure in that. But they check themselves. So this is the exact point that is being made here. That when their ecstasy, their happiness interferes with their service, they become dejected. So furthermore, let's recite 204. It's such a beautiful verse. Ar Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Prema Seva Vine.
Ar Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Prema Seva Vine.
Swasukhartha Salokyadi na kore grahane.
Swasukhartha Salokyadi na kare grahane.
Furthermore, pure devotees never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna to aspire for their own personal pleasure through 5 kinds of liberation. So in these next few verses from 204 to 208, Kaviraj Goswami explains that Krishna can offer all types of liberation to such devotees. But such devotees, they never accept. They're not concerned about their liberation. So just imagine, Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee of Krishna who loves him exclusively will flatly refuse to accept any sort of liberation, beginning from merging with the body of the Lord and extending to other various varieties of liberation, such as equality of form, opulence or abode, and the opulence of living near the Lord. So the 5 types of liberation. out of which ekatvam or oneness with the Lord's body is totally not an option for the devotees, and devotees never seek that. But the other 4 types of liberation that are available for devotees, they don't even accept that, like salokya, being on the same planet with the Lord, sashti, same opulence, sarupya, having the same form as the Lord, and samipya, direct association with the Lord. So such exalted personalities such as the gopis, they even forsake, or they don't even care for these types of liberation. So these are till 208. This is the point that that is made with various verses from. There are 3 verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, really beautiful, 329, 11 through 13, which is explained in verse number 205, 206 and 207. So we'll recite 1 or 2 of these verses. These are such beautiful verses. You can relish these verses. So, Madguna Shruti Matrena
Madguna Shruti Matrena
Mai Sarva Guhashaye
Mai Sarva Guhashaye
Manogatir Avichinna
Manogatir Avichinna
Yatha Gangam Bhasum Vadhu.
Yatha Gangam Vaso.
So just as the celestial waters of the Ganga flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me, who reside in the hearts of all. So when pure devotees, they hear about Krishna, what happens? Their minds naturally flow towards Krishna. And this is another very beautiful verse, 206. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya
Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya
nirgunasya hi udharitam
Nirgunasya hi udharatam
ahituki avyavahita
Ahetuki avyavahita
ya bhakti purushottame.
Ya Bhakti Purushottame.
So these are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what are the characteristics? It is causeless, ahituki, and it cannot be obstructed, apratihata, or here avyavahita. And then in the last verse, it's explained that the devotees do not accept the liberations that we just discussed.
But we are expecting like or aspiring for Salokya, Golodham.
So he's raised a very good point that we are always encouraged, let's strive to go back home, back to Godhead. But here we are reading that the gopis are not even keen on that. So how do we understand this? So are the gopis, so there is Godhead and there is Godhead consciousness. Yes? So there is physically, or this transcendental realm, which is Godhead. And apart from the physical realm, there is also Godhead consciousness. So are the gopis or such devotees who does not, they're so mature in their love and in their service that they're really happy to serve anywhere, and they leave it to the Lord to place them wherever they want. Like Bhakti Vinod Thakur prays. What does he pray? Kita janma hoy, jata to a das. He says, let me be born as an insect, but in the house of a devotee. So what should we do? Should we aspire to go back to Godhead? Or should we aspire to become selfless servants and let Krishna decide?
Second one.
Let Krishna decide what is best for us.
So when we are mature with this kind of love, so are we in Godhead consciousness or not? Even though we may be physically not there, but a devotee who is so mature in their love for Krishna that he or she does not care about their liberation at all, then they're already in such supreme consciousness. So our main aspiration should be for what?
Krishna consciousness.
Yes, to serve Krishna, to love Krishna selflessly. And of course, it doesn't mean that we don't hear about the spiritual realm. It is a very important part of our sadhana to hear about the transcendental realm of Vrindavan. Because that will help us aspire for that consciousness. We can't say, okay, Vrindavan not for me, I'm happy here. No, we have to hear constantly of Vrindavan. But whether Krishna physically brings us there or keeps us somewhere else, that's his call.
Prabhuji, we should surrender to Krishna.
Yes, definitely. So we have to become Vrindavan conscious. Definitely. And we'll see in the next chapter, there are purports after purports on this point. The transcendental realm, how it is, how it's so different from here, how it's so special. There are verses, there are like 10, 15 pages worth of purports for given about the spiritual realm. It's coming up shortly. So definitely Godhead is important for us. But we leave that to Krishna. Not that Krishna, you have to bring me back to Godhead. I've served you so many lifetimes. This lifetime, given everything. Like we see in Lord Caitanya's prayer, what does he pray? Mama janmane janmane ishvare. What's he praying? Bhavatat bhaktir ahituki tvahi. So here, same, ahituki bhakti. He's praying for that. And now Kaviraj Goswami, he's summarizing now all the points that he's made. He's going to summarize in such beautiful verses. So let's read these. 209. Kamagandhahina swabhavika gopi prema.
Kamagandhahina swabhavika gopi prema.
Nirmala ujjvala shuddha jena dagdu hema.
Nirmala ujjvala shuddha jena dagdu hema.
Krishnera sahaya guru bandhava prayasi.
Krishnera sahaya guru bandhava prayasi.
Gopika hoena priya shishya sakhi dasi.
Gopika hoena priya shishya sakhi dasi.
So the natural love of the gopis, kama gandhahina, it's devoid of any trace of lust. And what's its nature? It's nirmal. It's pure, ujjval, shuddha. And there is not even the slightest tinge of lust. It's like pure molten gold. What a beautiful verse summarizing the nature of their love. And this is what makes them, they're Krishna's helpers, teachers, friends, wives, daughters, disciples, confidants, and the serving maids of Lord Krishna. So Krishna has accepted them as everything. His friends, his wife, his disciples, his guru. So this is the level of the gopis. This is their position. Why? Because of their intense love for Krishna. Krishna has accepted them as the be all and end all of his life. And then same thing is explained in these next 3 verses. The same point that Krishnadas Kaviraj has beautifully explained in the last 2 verses that this is explained. He's giving references for what he's saying. From the Adi Purana, from the Gopi Premantra. So same things are being revealed in these next 3 verses. And now, in 2:14, now Krishna, or Kaviraj Goswami, is revealing that what is the real position of Srimati Radharani. So now, so far he's been discussing the love of who? The greatness of the love of the gopis. So let's read 2:14. Shri Gopi Gana Madhe Uttama Radhika Rupa Guna Swabhagya Prema Sarvadhika Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Sevika Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha Trailokya Prithvi Dhanya Yatra Vrindavanam Puri Tatrapi Gopika Partha Yatra Radha Bhidamama.
Who is saying this to whom?
Kaviraj Goswami, he has spoken this verse 2:14. That out of all the gopis, Srimati Radhika, 2:14, Srimati Radhika is the foremost. And why is she the foremost? Because she excels or surpasses all the gopis in beauty, good qualities, good fortune, and above, love. So just imagine all this greatness of the love of the gopis we've been discussing so far. So amazing, so selfless, completely free from lust, completely surrendered in every way. Their beauty increases when they serve Krishna, their joy increases, their own sweetness increases. And out of all of them, one who's the topmost of all the gopis, who surpasses all the gopis in all these things that we've been discussing, who is that personality? Srimati Radharani. And this is confirmed by whom? This is spoken by Krishna, the 2:115 and 2:116 that we just recited. They're spoken by Krishna to Arjun in the Adi Purana. And what is Krishna saying? He's saying that just as Radha is dear to Lord Krishna, so her bathing place is also dear to him. She alone is his most beloved of all the gopis. This is from the Padma Purana, and the next one is Krishna speaking. That in all these three planetary systems, the earth is specially fortunate. Why? Because on this earth is the town of Vrindavan. And how far are we physically from Vrindavan? 2 hours. And how far are we mentally from Vrindavan? Thousands and millions of miles. I'm speaking for myself, but and then he says that there the gopis are specially glorious. Now he's saying the gopis are glorious. Krishna is saying that the gopis are, out of all the glorious personalities in the world, in all of existence, Krishna is telling them why they're glorious. Why? Because among them is my Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna. So can you just get a sense of her position? All these verses that we discuss, the greatness of the gopis, and what is their real greatness or real glory is because of the presence of Srimati Radharani. And these gopis, what do? It's explained in 2.1.17 that they help increase the joy of Krishna's pastimes with Radharani. They act as instruments in their mutual enjoyment. And Prabhupada explains in the purport that there are different types of gopis. There are 5 types of gopis. And there are some gopis who love Radha and Krishna equally. Some of them love Krishna more. Some of them love Radharani more. And this way there is a variety of gopis. And amongst them 8 are primary. They're called the Parama Preshta Sakhis. So they are the 8 in number, and in the ecstatic dealings of Krishna and Radha, they sometimes side with Krishna and other times with Radharani, just to create a situation in which it appears that they favor one against the other. And why? This is to enhance the excitement of the ras. And now he summarizes this, that in 2.1.8, he makes Radharani's position even more clear. Let's recite this verse 2.1.18. Krishnera Vallabha Radha Krishna Pranadhana.
Krishnera Vallabha Radha Krishna Pranadhana.
Tanha vinu sukha hetu nahi gopi gana.
Tanha vinu sukha hetu nahi gopi gana.
Krishnera Vallabha Radha Krishna Pranadhana.
Krishnera Vallabha Radha Krishna Pranadhana.
Tanha vinu sukha hetu nahi gopi gana.
Tanha vinu sukha hetu nahi gopi gana.
So Radha is the beloved consort of Krishna, and she is the wealth of his life. Whose life? Krishna's life. Without her, the gopis cannot give him pleasure. So just imagine Radharani's position. In one lecture, Prabhupada says that he gives 2 very simple descriptions of Srimati Radharani. He says Radha Rani is the best devotee of Krishna. And why is she the best devotee of Krishna? Why do you think?
Because he always thinks of Krishna's name.
Okay. Good attempt. You are close.
The existence of Radharani is only to serve.
Okay.
There is no other purpose of her.
So is the existence of the gopis.
So far, just that one verse came because of her. She excels because of her beauty, service, and love. Something was to do with
She's good with the verses. She's referencing. So, in simple,
qualities and good fortune.
Because Krishna wants to experience the mood of Radharani as a service-giving propensity. So that is really something that he wants to call the highest level. So he wants
no,
to
so
feel that.
why is Radharani the best devotee of Krishna?
Because she is the greatest lover of.
Yes, she loves Krishna the most.
Simple. It's written, she surpasses all in beauty, good qualities, above all
And
in
above
love.
all.
Yes. And because she loves Krishna the most, she is.
The best devotee.
So Prabhupada writes in purport 2114, okay? He says, among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most exalted. She is the most beautiful, the most qualified, and above all, the greatest lover of Krishna. And these two lines, if you remember, it captures everything. Radharani is the best devotee of Krishna. And why is she? Because she loves Krishna the most. So all the esoteric tattvas, all the siddhanta boiled down into two simple lines. This is the potency of an acharya. How to put such complex things in simple terms that even a child can understand that. You bring any of these children and you explain these two lines. That's all you had to say? No. Even the children will say that.
They had a rhyme.
Huh?
They had a rhyme like this, no? All the gopis' names, and then in the end, but Radharani is the best gopi.
That's it. Yeah.
Very traditional style. But Radharani is the best. So even 2-year-old can do that.
And now we are coming. Now we are coming towards the real reason for Lord Chaitanya's descent. In verse number 220, he's going to reveal why Lord Caitanya comes. Shri Radhar Bhave Loya Chaitanya Avatara.
Shri Radha Bhavilaya Chaitanya Avatara.
Yuga Dharma Nama Prema Koilo Prachara.
Yuga Dharma Nama Prema Kaila Prachara.
So Lord Chaitanya appeared with the sentiment of Radharani. Right? And with this sentiment, he preached the dharma of this age. What is that? Chanting of the holy name and pure love of God. Nama prema koilo prachar. And in this mood of Radharani, he fulfilled his own desires. So this is the principal reason for his appearance. In the next verse, Kaviraj Goswami is revealing the real reason. Shei bhave nije vancha korilo puran. So all these unfulfilled desires that we were speaking about, how did he fulfill these desires?
By taking the position of
By appearing as Lord Caitanya in the bhav of Srimati Radharani. And this is the principal reason for his appearance. So he came for what?
fulfill his own desires.
To fulfill his own 3 unfulfilled desires. And that's why it's explained that Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna, the embodiment of rasas. He is amorous love personified. Because he's come to what? He's come to taste that ras that he was unable to experience before. Now he's come. And now he's come in a position where he can relish that ras. So he is the embodiment of all the rasas. And he made his appearance to taste that conjugal mellow and incidentally to broadcast all the rasas. 223, let's recite this verse. Shei rasa asvadite koilo avatara.
Sei rasa asvadite kaila avatara.
Anusange koilo shobha rasera prachara.
Anusange kaila sabha rasera prachara.
So he made his appearance to taste that conjugal love. Shei rasa asvadite koilo avatar. Anusange koilo shobha. So he tasted that, which ras? The conjugal mellow. But at the same time, what did he do? He also broadcasted all the other rasas. Chari bhava bhakti. Diya nachamu bhuvane. This was one of the verses in chapter 3. So he shared the four devotional mellows and made the whole world dance in ecstasy. And he himself relished which mellow? Huh? Conjugal mellow. Okay. So in these verses, he explains that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the abode of ras, and he tasted that sweetness of ras in endless ways. 225. And thus he initiated the dharma for the age of Kali. The devotees of Lord Caitanya know all these truths. So Prabhupada explains in the purport to verse number 226 that Lord Caitanya is Sri Krishna himself, the absolute enjoyer of the love of the gopis. He himself assumes the role of the gopis to taste the predominated happiness of transcendental mellows. He appeared in that mode, but simultaneously he propagated the religious process for this age in a most fascinating way. Only the confidential devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand this transcendental secret. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the embodiment of all the rasas, he comes and he relishes this ultimate ras in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And at the same time, what does he do? He propagates the Sankirtan movement. So we can't imagine what his bhav must be. We get a sense, and we will get a sense when we go to the Antya Lila, like, the kind of emotional ecstasy of separation that he experiences. And in that mood he is revealing the most innermost truths of Krishna consciousness, Krishna Prem. And now finally, after discussing 226 verses, and in 227 and 228, what does he do? He offers his respectful obeisances to all the associates of Lord Caitanya, like Advaita Acharya, Nityananda, Sri Nivas. And then he says, Aro joto Chaitanya Krishnera Bhaktagan, Bhakti Bhave Shire Dhori Shobara Charan. So he says, I place the lotus feet of all these great acharyas and all the devotees of the Lord on my head. So what's he doing? What's he doing?
Paying obeisances to the...
Yeah, so he's paying his obeisances and he's praying for their mercy.
So he's going zigzag, like there he's in Radharani
No.
and gopis, and now he's present.
Yeah, so now why is he asking for the blessings? Because now he's going to reveal the inner reasons for Lord Chaitanya's descent. He says, now I have given you a hint of the 6th verse. So all this he has given so far, he has been building the foundation and giving us the context for explaining the 6th Mangala Charan, to explain the 3 main reasons why Lord Caitanya comes. So all this Siddhanta, all this deep philosophy, all these esoteric truths to help us understand the 3 internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's descent. Now he's going to reveal that in 230. This is the 6th Mangala Charan of the 1st chapter. And this is the final verse of the 6 verses that glorify Lord Caitanya in the 1st chapter. In this verse, he is revealing the 3 reasons. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, right? The wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Now he has summed up and revealed the 3 internal reasons for the Lord's descent. So I hope you are clear on all these 3 reasons by now. Okay. And then he says, almost apologetically, at the next few verses, he says that actually these conclusions, they can't be revealed in public. Why? Because who's going to understand this? I mean, who's going to understand Antaranga Shakti and Ladini Shakti and the love of the gopis and the position of Srimati Radharani and Krishna's unfulfilled desires and the real reasons why Krishna comes? I mean, who's going to understand all this? Normal person can't understand this. But then he says that Na koile keha ihara ant nahi paaye. So he says, if I don't share this, then no one will understand them. Therefore, I shall mention them, revealing only their essence. So at least who will be able to understand? The loving devotees, the Rasika Bhaktas. He says in 232, Bujhe bhe Rasika Bhakta, na bujhi bhe Mudha. The fools will not understand, but the loving devotees will. And who is going to be able to understand this? This is the secret that he reveals. Anyone who has captured Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda in their heart will become blissful by hearing all these transcendental conclusions. So if you want to understand these transcendental conclusions, we need to get the mercy of Sri Gaur Nitai. So this is the amazing benediction for this age. That these two great personalities, and Krishna and Balaram, they've come in the form of Gaur Nitai to bestow their supreme compassion on us and their supreme mercy, so that we can understand these highest truths that are way beyond us. And he says that these conclusions, they are always pleasing to the devotees. But the camel-like non-devotees, they can't appreciate these topics. And then he makes a very incomprehensible statement. He says, because these camel-like devotees cannot understand these topics, there is special jubilation in my heart. So why does he say that?
Why camel?
Huh?
Why camel? What is the reference?
Camel-like devotees, camel-like non-devotees. Take a try.
Have their egos very high.
Very high, okay. What else? What do you think? Huh?
Also eat thorny fruits, thorny plants.
Yes. Camels, how do they enjoy sometimes?
They eat
The thorns
thorns
and
and
enjoy
enjoy
their
their
blood.
blood.
Blood, yes. And this also is the position of the materialists. When we have material consciousness, how do we enjoy?
Chewing the same thing again and again.
Chewing the chewed. And even worse, that we know that we are tasting our own blood, but we are trying to relish that. So we're going to try to squeeze out pleasure even out of that. And it's also explained that this also symbolizes the dry intellectual exercises of the impersonalists who lack real spiritual taste. Okay. But why is he happy? You haven't answered the question.
He's saying that I don't want to reveal it, but I am revealing it because they will not understand. So he's showing that heart that they will not even understand. So that's good.
So is he happy about that?
Because not
Because devotees will understand.
Okay, yeah, so he's happy that devotees will understand, but here it's saying that the camel-like non-devotees cannot enter into these topics. Therefore, there is special jubilation in my heart.
This is one of the namaprad that not to.
Okay, explain it a little more.
So, out of 10 namaprad, one of the namaprad is that abhakton ko Krishna ki ke bare mein.
But he's already revealed that.
But they will not understand.
They'll not understand, okay, so still, little more.
Because this philosophy is not so cheap though.
Ah,
To give them, not cheap.
it preserves the
Confidential.
confidentiality and the accessibility of this topmost truth, which who can only access?
Devotees can
Yes, the loving devotees can access. So this way the confidentiality of pure bhakti is always secured and protected. So that's why then there is special jubilation in his heart. He says, for fear of them I do not wish to speak, but even if they don't understand, he's still going to go ahead with it.
So does this mean that he has intentionally given us in that way that camel-like devotees won't understand? Non-devotees won't understand.
So do you think he is intentionally given it in that way?
No, I'm just asking that.
So whichever way he gave this esoteric philosophy in, would the camel-like devotees ever understand this? But obviously he has presented in the most expert way. But anyway, they will not understand. Like even we in our material consciousness, we can't understand. So he says in 237, such a sweet verse. Otova bhakta gane kori namaskara, nishanke kohyatara hauk chamatkara. So after offering obeisances to all the devotees, for their satisfaction, for their astonishment, let this truth be revealed, right, without any hesitation. And now he's going to reveal. He's going to reveal the truth of Mahaprabhu's descent. That one time Lord Krishna considered within his heart that everyone says I'm complete bliss, full of rasas. And everyone derives pleasure from me. I'm the source of all pleasure for everyone. But who's going to give me pleasure? He says, someone who must have hundreds or more qualities than me, then only that person can give me pleasure. And he says, to find that kind of personality is impossible in this world. But there is in one person, he says in 241, Ekali radhate taha kori anubhava. So he says, in Radha alone, I feel the presence of one who can give me pleasure. He says, although my beauty defeats the beauty of 10 million cupids, koti koti jini rupa yadyapi amar, and my sweetness and beauty, they are unequaled and unsurpassed, and it gives pleasure to all the three worlds. But when he sees Srimati Radharani, what does Krishna experience? he experiences intense pleasure. And he says that my flute, it enchants the entire world. But the words of Srimati Radharani, they enchant me. And they completely captivate me. Her looks, her touch, and her beauty. He says, I can't describe it. So he says that Srimati Radharani, her beauty and her attributes, they are my life and soul, in 248. And then he says that in this way my affectionate feelings from Srimati Radharani may be understood in 249. But he says that there is some contradiction. So what has Krishna been saying? That he experiences so much joy in Radharani's qualities, her attributes. Right? But then he says there is still one contradiction when I analyze the situation. He says that although my eyes are fully satisfied when I look upon Srimati Radharani, but by looking upon me, she becomes even more advanced in satisfaction. Let us recite this verse 250. Radhara darshane more judaya nayana. Amara darshane radha sukhe agayana. So she becomes completely maddened in her love for Krishna. And it's explained that how intense her love is that when she sees the bamboos or hears the bamboos rubbing against each other, what does she hear? She hears Krishna's flute. She thinks it's Krishna, it's the sound of Krishna's flute. And then when she sees the tamal tree, she completely embraces the tree, thinking what? The tree is Krishna. And she thinks, I've gotten to embrace Lord Krishna, and now my life is fulfilled. And this way she's immersed in pleasing Krishna, taking the tree in her arms. So this is the madness of her love. This is the intensity. It's explained that when a favorable breeze carries to her the fragrance of Krishna's body, she's blinded by love and she tries to fly in that breeze. And when she tastes the betel nut tasted by Krishna, she just merges in an ocean of joy. So Krishna is saying that 255. Let's see what Krishna is saying. Amara sangame radha paye je ananda.
Amara sangame radha paye je ananda.
Shatha mukhe boli tabu nae paye tara anta.
Sata mukhe bali tabu na paye tara anta.
Even with hundreds of mouths, Shata mukhe boli tobu na paye tara anta. You cannot find the end of the transcendental pleasure that she experiences. And all the children, Gauranga, Nimai, Govind, come here. Idhar aana? Yes. Idhar aao. Just give me your pleasure potency. Come here, Reyansh. Experience some separation. Come here. Gauranga, come here. you'll experience the shadow of the love of Krishna. Come here. Govind, come here. Reyansh, come here, come here. Give me the phone. Now after 15 minutes you share with me the separation you're feeling. Okay? How intense it is. Hare Krishna, sorry. So now we're coming to the end of the chapter. Can we go for 10 more minutes?
Yes, please.
Are you all okay?
Yes.
Huh? So Krishna is saying that seeing the luster of her complexion after our pastimes together, I forget my own identity. Taha dekhi sukhe ami apana pasari. He just becomes forgetful of who he is. Because he's so maddened to see the love and the bliss that Radharani is experiencing. And he says, experts on love, on the topic of love, they say that the mellows of the lover and beloved are equal. But then Krishna says, he doesn't understand the mellows of my Vrindavan. So he says, all these experts on love like Bharat Muni, they say that the male and the female, they enjoy equally in material sexual pleasure. But in the spiritual world, the relationships are different. And this is unknown to mundane experts. So this love that is being spoken, it's got nothing to do with mundane sexual love. He says the happiness I feel in meeting Radharani is 100 times greater than the happiness I get from meeting others. And it's described, described in the next two verses by Srila Rupa Goswami, that how Krishna becomes enchanted by Radharani's beauty and her touch and her moon-like, her lotus-like face. But then he says that considering this, I can understand that some unknown mellow in me controls the entire existence of my captivator, Srimati Radharani. So there is something that Srimati Radharani is experiencing. There is an unknown mellow that she is experiencing that I want to taste now. I am eager to taste that joy that Radharani derives from me. Okay? And now Krishna, he reveals something really inconceivable. So in 263, let's recite this verse. Nana yatna kori ami nari asvadite.
Nana yatna kori ami nari asvadite.
Shei sukha madhurya grane lobha bhare chite.
Sei sukha madhurya grane lobha bhare chite.
In spite of various efforts, I have not been able to taste it. But my desire to relish that pleasure increases as I smell its sweetness. And now Krishna, he explains that when he appeared, he tasted different mellows. Right? And he taught devotional service by demonstrating it with his pastimes. But then these three desires of mine were not satisfied, for one cannot enjoy them in a contrary position. Okay? Contrary position means that if he wants to enjoy these three desires, he has to take Radharani's position. Because he cannot enjoy it in his position. And therefore, unless I accept the luster of the ecstatic love of Sri Radhika, these three desires cannot be fulfilled. So 268, let us recite this. Radha bhava angi kori dhori tara varna.
Radha bhava angi kari dhari tara varna.
Tina sukhe asvadite hoba avartina.
Tina sukha asvadite hava avartina.
Therefore, assuming Radharani's sentiments and bodily complexion, I shall descend to fulfill these three desires. And this is how Krishna came to a decision. Okay. And as he took this call, the time for the incarnation of the age also came. So the time for the Yuga avatar to appear in Kali Yuga also coincided. And at that same time, Advaita Acharya, what was he doing? He was worshipping with loud calls for the appearance of the Lord. After seeing the level of materialism that had grown in this world and the suffering of the people, so he prayed. And so what happened? The Lord's parents and elders appeared, and then with the complexion and sentiments of Radhika, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, like the full moon from the womb of Mother Sachi, which is like an ocean of pure milk. And in concluding this chapter, he offers his obeisances to Srila Rupa Goswami, because based on the verse by Rupa Goswami, he has built his conclusions, Kaviraj Goswami. So which one he has shared? I can support the explanation of these two verses, verses 5 and 6 of the first chapter, with the verse number 275. Okay. So the conclusion of the 5th and 6th Mangala Charan is based on verse number 275, that is the second Chaitanya Ashta of Srila Rupa Goswami's Stavamala. And basically in this verse, the same things that we have discussed are mentioned. Okay?
So to explain this one verse, he has given 274 verses, like for the confidential reasons.
Yes. So this is the basis on which he has explained. And of course he has many other verses as well. And he has given Praman and so many verses. So thus the auspicious invocation, the essential nature of the truth of Lord Caitanya and need for his appearance have been set forth in 6 verses. Are you all convinced of this? Huh? So all like the 6 verses that we've